We understand that Donald Trump has just tweeted out his vice presidential pick, so we want to bring in Megan Murphy, our Bloomberg News Washington bureau chief, for more details. And Megan, it is what we anticipated. Michael Pence?
It is what we anticipated. Donald Trump has just taken to Twitter to confirm this after a truly chaotic, even by the measures of the Trump campaign, last 24 hours as rumor and circulation over who it was going to be. Had he decided on Pence, he has just confirmed. He has said they will hold a news conference tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Remember, he rescheduled today's announcement because of the terror attack in Nice.
Megan, can you just talk us through the last 24 hours? I know there's, as you say, been a lot of going back and forth, but why has there been such a delay?
You know, Trump is a very mercurial candidate. He's a very mercurial guy, and he likes to keep control of the process. And what happened was this process slipped away from him a little bit. There were factions within his closest advisors, some who preferred Newt Gingrich, some who were set on Pence, some who still thought Chris Christie was pretty viable. So and remember, Trump was in California yesterday fundraising, and yet back in New York, this sort of Mike Pence story had taken on a life of its own, and it basically just the news cycle got away from him. It's a real indication of how, as he moves forward, and particularly as we head into convention week, he's going to have to show people that he can deal with these kind of situations in a presidential way. This is not a great way to have your VP process have been run. Yes, it had a lot of drama. Yes, it had a lot of tension, but it also had a lot of chaos.
Well, that seems to be part of his style here. I just want to read the tweet that Donald Trump sent out, and this is, of course, just in the last couple of minutes. I'm pleased to announce that I have chosen Governor Mike Pence as my vice presidential running mate. News conference tomorrow at 11 a.m. Can you give us a little more background here on Mike Pence? We know he's a Tea Partier, and we know that in the past he had considered running for president. But beyond that, what does he bring to the table for Donald Trump?
This was a safe choice for Donald Trump. You know, his final three were Chris Christie, Newt Gingrich, and Mike Pence. And Mike Pence is a candidate who's has shown his true conservative credentials time and time again, both, when he was in Congress and also now as governor of Indiana. He's not someone who comes without controversy. He was involved in accusations that an anti-LGBT bill that he shepherded, that caused a lot of corporations to make a lot of news and pull out of Indiana at a time. But he is someone who brings definitely the core of the conservative party with him. He's very well respected among figures in the party. He's someone who is seen as a safe pair of hands, as someone who is going to keep the kind of rhetoric and maybe even coach Donald Trump about how to sort of be more presidential, keep him on message, and be focused on winning those conservative voters, people who may be in the undecided camp, that this is actually the two people who can lead this country forward in a time of immense tumult, not only with what we see in Nice overnight, but economic angst, fears about inequality, fears about immigration. That's all going to play in. And they think Mike Pence is going to be that complementary pair of hands that sort of makes Donald Trump appear more presidential and give him that security with the conservative base as well.
Megan, will he move Trump in a more conservative direction? I mean, can he get Trump to step back from some of his more contentious comments, such as against Hispanics?
You know, Pence has come out against several of Donald Trump's positions, particularly on Muslims and what we could do there to stop immigration, some of the more extreme positions that Donald Trump has taken. So it's going to be interesting to see how they meld themselves together and how they present a unified front. I'm not sure anyone can really make Trump not Trump. Every time he has taken a more sort of measured tone. We've seen his response to Nice. We've seen his response to Dallas and him trying to step away and build himself more and project a more presidential air. I think Mike Pence will help him with that, no question about it. Whether Mike Pence will be the attack dog that he needs on Hillary Clinton is the interesting question. Had you chosen a Chris Christie, had you chosen a Newt, you're looking at someone who is really going to go after her, as we see her showing some weakness in the polls. Whether Mike Pence will be up to that challenge and whether he can be as effective in exposing her weaknesses, that's going to be a real something to watch.